Hello everyone, it's just me today, sadly. Jim is away, so I'm going to go for our picks for week 12. I'm going to start off this week with the Minnesota versus Detroit game. I personally feel like the Detroit Lions are going to be winning this game. I'm not wholly sold on the Vikings just yet, 4 on the bounce. I know they got a win this week, but they had sloped to 4 losses in a row. And I just think that Matt Stafford is too strong for them at the moment, and they're going to win. Let's go to the next game, which is personally my favourite game of the week, which is the Washington Redskins versus the Dallas Cowboys. This, I can smell an upset, but I feel like the Washington Redskins are going to sneak it out. No, I don't actually. I can't do it. Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game. I can't pick against them based on their performances recently. Doing fantastically well. Next game on the agenda is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. I just feel like Andrew Luck is going to be too strong and the Steelers secondary is too weak. Therefore, the Colts will be winning this game. Next one is the Arizona Cardinals versus the Atlanta Falcons. The Cardinals are showing me that they've regressed immensely so far this season, and for that reason, I'm going to pick the Falcons and that potent offense to get the W. Next up is the Cincinnati Bengals against the Baltimore Ravens. I think with the injuries to Cincinnati, AJ Green especially, as well as Giovanni Bernard, I just feel like the Ravens, they're going to be too depleted and the Ravens are going to win this game. Next up is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Buffalo Bills. Jacksonville, again, are another team that has shown me that they've regressed immensely so far this season. Blake Bortles especially seems to have taken some steps backwards, which is disappointing. And for that reason, I think the Buffalo Bills will walk this game. Next up is the Tennessee Titans at the Chicago Bears. Chicago had a decent game actually this week, but I just feel like Tennessee are more rounded. They've got a fantastic pass rush, Derek Morgan in particular, and that offense is sort of firing on all cylinders. And if they can get a lead, then they'll run all over you and sort of take time off the clock. Next up is the New York Giants at the Cleveland Browns. I don't really have to go into this one. I think that the Giants will win. I do think Cleveland will get a victory before the end of the season, but I don't think it'll be this week. Next up, for me, an important game, the San Diego Chargers at the Houston Texans. I just think that my Chargers are going to be too strong for the Texans. It'd be a different game if JJ Watt was there, but I'm still not sold on Brock Osweiler. They had a good win. Chargers had a bye week and they lost. The scoreline looked closer than it was against the Raiders, so I think that the Texans are going to struggle this week against the Chargers offense. Next up is the San Francisco 49ers against the Miami Dolphins. I think that the Dolphins will win this game. In my opinion, the Niners are the worst team in the NFL. Kaepernick showed some strides, made some steps forward, but still, they're just not strong enough for me to pick them at the moment. Similarly, the LA Rams are playing against the New Orleans Saints. The Saints can beat any team and also lose to any team. They're that kind of, unfortunately that's the kind of defense they've got. But I just feel like their offense is going to be too strong against the Rams, who are still just struggling too much to put points on the board. Next up is the Seattle Seahawks and at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that Seattle is one of the 3 strongest teams in the league, and they're becoming more and more frightening on offense, which is a worrying proposition moving into the latter end of the season, and then into the playoffs, because their defense is frightening. We all know that, has been for years, but their offense now with Jimmy Graham sort of becoming more of a factor on offense, as well as Baldwin stepping up and becoming a top 10 wide receiver in the league. We've seen what Wilson can do over the course of his career. So for that reason, I'm picking the Seahawks. Jameis Winston's made huge steps, same with Mike Evans, but they're just, I can't pick against the Seahawks this week. Next up is the Carolina Panthers at the Oakland Raiders. I'm with Kuechly out, which is a horrible shame because he's one of my favourite players in the league. I just feel like the Raiders' offence is going to be too formidable, and put too many points on the board for Carolina's offense to keep up. I'm not seeing lots of... I'm just not seeing the variation that I would expect, and I don't think they're utilising Greg Olsen enough. He's one of the more dynamic tight ends in the league, and he doesn't seem to be getting targets from Cam Newton. Next up is the New England Patriots against the New York Jets. Jets have typically done well against New England, or at least made the games close. I say done well, they lose most of them, but they've been within 3 points of, I think it's like 10 of the last 13, 14 games they've played. The issue is they now don't have a Rex Ryan-led defence, and for that reason I feel like the Patriots are going to walk this one as well. Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos is the penultimate game, and I feel like Denver is going to win that game. I just think that the Kansas City Chiefs... It was a bit of a statement game for me this week against the Buccaneers, and they didn't pull through. So I just think that the Broncos are stronger than Kansas City at the moment, so I'm going with them. And the last game is the Green Bay Packers against the Philadelphia Eagles. What has happened to the Green Bay Packers this season? It's such a shame really, because Aaron Rodgers is such a great player, but he's having no help from anyone else around him, and Carson Wentz is still playing well. I know he had an interception or two this week, but I still think that team, the Eagles team, is a lot stronger and more well-rounded than the Green Bay Packers, so I'm going to go with the Eagles. So thanks very much for watching. Apologies, it's just me today. Jim is away with work. I have just got back from work, hence the suit, although without a blazer. So very formal video this week. If you do like it, please like or leave a comment. We do try and shout them out in the podcast, so for those of you who do watch the YouTube videos but don't necessarily listen to the podcast, you might well be getting shout-outs that you don't hear. So we do appreciate anyone who gets in touch. And check us out, jimandtheking.com, and @jimandtheking is our Twitter handle and also for Instagram. Thanks very much.